Everybody. Oh my gosh, it's been like forever. I feel like I haven't been able to get 5 minutes to be in town or to be available to have some time to sit down and talk and share some things. Um, so let me back up a little bit. And I know I haven't done cards of the week this week or last week. Um, so this is a really busy time of the year. But let me back up a little bit. And first, I want to say I hope everybody had a really beautiful Thanksgiving holiday. I had my son here from college. It was really awesome that he was here. And we had him for an extra day, so that threw off my week last week. And then had some really big stuff that was going on with some work events and things like that. So um, just really excited to be able to be back to connect and to communicate with you because I've been feeling this pull. Um, and I feel like I know for me personally, I've been feeling this, not just this pull to get back to you, but this pull to kind of break free. And so I feel like I've been pulling the cards for the week, and I know I've been getting the cards for you guys. And I know it's Thursday, but I'll still give you the cards that we had for this past week. But I wanted to, as we're coming into the new moon, it's like today and tomorrow is the new moon, and so this is, of course, the time for manifesting, releasing. And I want to tell you what I feel, and I'm not. I don't do astrology. I don't profess to understand it. I do believe in it. I don't profess to understand it, but I do want to share the information that has been given to me. And so we've talked a lot over the last few months about releasing things, and now the energy really is about breaking free, and standing firm in your feet, standing firm in your physical body, standing firm in what you would call into manifestation for yourself. And this is, especially as we come into the close of the year and into the launch of the new year, this is a really common theme. But I feel like there is this part of us where we have to really tackle the 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 things we have been unwilling to deal with, the demons from the past, and looking at the things that are making us upset in the now, and being able to say, okay, let me breathe on this for a second. And what is this? How does this connect to my past? Where is this connected to something in my past that is causing me to feel like this? Because I feel like we get into these conditioned responses where we're saying, we're reacting to things. It's based on how we have reacted to them for having felt that same feeling over and over in our lifetime. That where is this connected to my past? Where did it originate? And I think that that's a lot. That's so often that's a question for, meditation. But where is this connected to my past? Where is it that I feel this resonant in my past, so that I can see where this feeling originated, this belief system about something, whatever it is that's causing you to have that knot in your stomach, that angry, that agitation, that frustration, whatever that is. Then where is it that this has originated in my where is it that this is originating in my past, that I can address this and finally release this. The other thing is, and so I feel like that's the first part that I really wanted to be able to share. The second part is that this is the time of really allowing your brain to open into what you want to create as you go forward into the new year. This is the time of blank check, blank slate, blank check. This is the time of, if I could, I would, this is what I want, da 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 da. So what is it that you want to start creating? And it doesn't, I feel like that sometimes we get in this place where it's like, well, I have to get my plan mapped out for the new year. Take a breath, take a breath. Because I think that especially for me personally, feeling that pressure, like I've got to have a plan mapped out for the year, that's like a lot. Like for me, I feel like that's like a lot of pressure. Like but when I look at what my 5-year plan is, that is more breathable to me. Like I know what I want to do, like where I'd like to be in 5 years. So if I know where I want to be in 5 years, then I can walk it back. What do I need to start? Like where can I start walking towards that goal? And so if what do you want to manifest in the 2019 year seems like this looming thing, like, oh my God, it's coming. Maybe think a little wider, think a little broader, because I will tell you, this is absolutely, especially with the moon moving into the new cycle with close to Jupiter, is so big. Jupiter is this time of big thinking and this time of really big, allowing your brain to expand. Classes you wanted to take, goals that you are afraid to set them, but set them for a bigger time frame to be able to then figure out how to take the bites of them, because we can reach any goal if we just take it one bite at a time. And I will tell you, and I put this on my Facebook page today, even baby steps forward, little teensy weensy incy baby steps, is still a step forward, and it still should be applauded because it's still a step forward. And there are still days for me where I feel like, I work from a list, the 6 most important things to do list that I learned from being my training and as a Mary Kay director. I work and I send and I work that 6 most important things to do list. And there are days when I get one thing done, and I'm like, "Whew, girl! Thank God you got one thing done. Pat on the back because you did great. You did one thing done." Because sometimes that is all I can do, whether there's 27 other things that came flying in out of nowhere that had nothing to do with anything, that I couldn't like even, get to the 6 most important things to do list. Or maybe it was just a day that was just, energetically difficult, and that was just all I could get done that day. But to really be able to be like, whatever you accomplish, be like, okay, good job. We got something done. Okay, so did you get 3 things done on your list? Because here's what happens, especially for women. We put 90 things on our list, and then we get mad at ourselves that we only did 78. And that's ridiculous. That's just setting ourselves up for this awful energy. So I think when you can identify what the goal is, then you can walk it back and break it into chunks. So for me, like I understand a goal that I have for the next 5 years. And so I know what classes I need to take. I know how long that's going to take. I know how much money that's going to take. And then I can start to divide that up into pieces like, okay, so I need to save up some money to be able to get that money together to pay for this class or pay for that class. When can I put that on the calendar? When can I fit that into the schedule with the other things I need to do? Where is there going to be a window where I can kind of step away from other things that are going to be so I can focus on that class? Where is it that I can plug this into my life? But if I feel like I have to have it plugged in by January 1st, to me, that's feeling overwhelming. And I'm not talking about little goals. I'm not talking about New Year's resolutions. I'm not talking about, lose 10 pounds. I'm talking about, where do you want to see your life be, go, do, have? What do you want? Who do you want to be in 5 or 10 years from now? And then use that bucket list, that real identity shift, to block out and break down that goal into the smaller pieces so that you can say, okay, if I want to be here in 5 years, then this is what I need to do in this next coming year to take the first steps to that goal. Because I think a lot of times we just really cannot see the first step because it's just so big in our mind that we just can't even figure out where to start. And so we do nothing. And it just seems so overwhelming when we say, well, I want to do this next year. I want to write a book. Like, well, maybe you're a person who can just sit down and just spit one out in a weekend, but maybe you're not. Maybe your life is really busy, and maybe it's just not a thing that you can really just churn it out like that. And so maybe it's going to take longer than a year. So maybe I want to get my outline done in the first month of the year, and I want to get the first, chapters and, just to figuring out what it is that you want to create in the next 5. So by 5 years from now, it's like, well, I'd like to have a successful book launch. Well, then I need to write a book first. I got to figure out how to write a book. What do I want to write a book about? I'm not writing a book. It's just an example. But sometimes we don't serve ourselves because we play small as we come to this time of the year. We play small with our goals and our resolutions, and because we're only looking at where do we want to be this time next year. And so I'm telling you that with this new moon today and tomorrow, this is the time of expansive thinking and expanding our horizons. But it isn't just a 30-day time window. It isn't just a 1-year time window. Really allow your brain to think bigger. And I don't necessarily mean like, I'm going to write 10 books. I mean, think bigger, like bigger time frames. Allow yourself to envision where you could be, what you could create over that next period of time. But at the same time, I want to really encourage you to stand firm in your own body. I really want you to, this is something that is a more immediate time frame. In this new moon, this is absolutely the time for you to stand firm in your own body. So when those things come up that just drive you crazy, something your partner does that drives you crazy, something's going on in the world that's driving you crazy, something that's creating that knot in the pit of your stomach that just makes you want to be like, really stop and take a deep breath and ask yourself, and I'm not talking about politics, but ask yourself, what is it that's in this situation that is making me feel like this? And how does it connect to my past? Where is the root of this? And you may need to do a little deep breathing, and you may need to do some meditation to just be like that conscious breathing where you take a breath and you hold it, a deep breath, and you hold it, and you exhale completely, and you hold it, and you inhale completely. More. And hold it, and exhale. Really squeeze your belly. Exhale completely. Hold it. And then you put your tongue on the roof of your mouth, because that occupies your left brain. And you breathe a few more times. And you sit quietly and you ask yourself the question, where in my past is this connected? Where does this come from? Where in my past did I create this belief, this feeling, this rule about this situation? What is it that is going on? Where does that connect? So I can release it. So I can move forward into the expansion, into that big 5-year thinking of what I'd like to create in the next period of my life, whether it's a year, whether it's 10, in the next period of my life. This is the time as we're moving into the new moon. Okay, so I want to share the cards with you really quickly, because so this is creative writing. This has been coming up a lot because I know that I'm behind personally in my blog. So this is coming up a lot. It's creative writing. But one of the things I think is so great about creative writing card is that it really is about self-expression. It is about self-expression. And it even just says, make some time to write down your thoughts in a journal, or write an article or a book. So it isn't necessarily about, you have to write a book or you're going to write a book, but it really is about expressing your thoughts and getting back on track with your gratitude journal, or your, if you're doing this kind of work, your bingo book is a great thing. I'm a huge fan of the bingo book, where when you are working with clients and doing your reading and you get it right, you get that hit, you write it down. Especially when I was starting, it really helped me to build my confidence. But really just in the creative writing, it comes right back to what we've been talking about allowing yourself to to think in a bigger way, to imagine what is possible for you and yourself and your life in the next 5 years, because that really is an exercise in creative writing of really allowing your mind to expand into, what do I want my life to look like in a bigger time frame? What do I want my life to look like in a bigger picture? And that comes into creative writing. Okay. And then the next card was clairvoyance, which I love because that is all about looking into the future. Clairvoyance, clear vision. That is all about looking into the future. Look into your own future. This is the time to look into your own future. Look into your own heart. Look into your own future. What do I want my life to look like in the next 5 years? What can I create in the next 5 years? Because I think sometimes we get to this place in our life where we just feel like we can't, like, I can't create anything. I'm just surviving. And this is the time to really look at those things that are causing the negative vibration in our body, to say, where does that come from my past? Because once you can identify it, you can release it. Because we make these judgments and we make these reactions based on rules that we've made for ourselves that happened in past situations, often when we were children. And if you can find it, you can ask yourself, does this apply to my life today? Like, I always talk to people about avocados. When I was growing up, we had an avocado tree in the yard. So we always had opossums, and they were ugly, scary little critters when I was young. And they would make this huge mess with the avocado tree. So I never liked avocados. I didn't like how they looked, smelled, tasted. They just, nothing positive. So I grew up believing I didn't like avocados. And then somewhere along the line, I tasted guacamole and I thought, that's awesome. I love guacamole. I love avocados. I would eat avocados every single day. I love avocados. But I made this rule for myself based on an experience I had when I was a very little girl. And that will govern my life until I looked at that and said, well, I don't know what this is. I don't have some sort of current information about this. Let me check. This is outdated information. But I was able to look into that and be like, I don't like this, and feel where it was in my life. Now, this is a very simple one, not a very deep one, but just to give you the idea of, why do I not like this? Why do I feel this way about avocados? Where in my life does that come from? It came back to the tree in my backyard. And that the possums, really, it came down to the fact that the opossums scared the heck out of me. So really, that was where that came from. And once I realized that there was no reason for me to be afraid of opossums, because there wasn't an avocado tree in my yard and they weren't going to just come in my house and eat me or anything. So there was not a logical reason that I was able to try avocados and discover that I really love them. So we make these rules for ourselves based on past traumas or past impressions. And so we have outdated information that is still governing us. And so it's important that you have updated information so that you can use your vision to clear things from your past, and also to use your vision to see where your future is going, what your own future is going to be like as you go forward, and look at the next plan for your next 5 years. And then we are not alone. Hello from heaven. We are not alone. Remember that the things that come into your mind are divinely inspired. We are not by ourselves. The guides are with us. The angels are with us. Our loved ones who've passed over are with us. We are never alone. So as you're moving forward and you're thinking to yourself, oh, I want to devise this 5-year plan, and you think, oh, I can't do that. Yes, you can, because you will have help along the way. We always have help along the way. Nobody is alone. We're never alone. We always have our loved ones are watching us, and they are there to help us if only we will ask. If only we will ask. So hello from heaven. Your loved ones in heaven are doing fine. Let go of worries and feel their loving blessings. Feel their loving blessings. They are always with us. They are showing us signs that we're too busy to notice, but they are showing us signs. It is the 5th night of Hanukkah here in my house. And I'm excited to, I love this holiday. In Judaism, it's a fairly minor holiday, but it is the festival of the lights. And to me, it always just felt like this is the holiday of the light. And so I love this thing about Hanukkah, because we light the candles for 8 nights. And on the first night, you light 1 candle, and then you light the second candle the next night. So the light gets bigger as we go along through the holiday, so that at the end of 8 days, it is just a beautiful, glowing, shining light for all of us. And so I wish that for you all, as we move through this holiday season that can be sometimes a challenge. I am sending you all of the light from our menorahs and our Hanukkahs, and I wish you all a wonderful evening, and I will look forward to being back with you again soon. Happy Hanukkah.